Good morning, Doctor. My name is M02GA1 with the matrix number 8306. Today, our group strikers will be presenting on India's industrial relations system. My group members are Nofatin Shaswani, Masdiana, Noor Amira, and Muhammad Hadi.
First, we will start with introduction. India, officially known as the Republic of India, became independent from British rule in 1947 and was declared a republic in 1950. As of 2024, it is led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi with a national focus on economic development, infrastructure, and global engagement. India plays an active role in international affairs through partnership with major global powers and organizations like UN, WTO, and G20. With an estimated population of 1.4 billion in 2025, India is the most populous country in the world. Although it is vast in size, over 60 of its population still live in rural areas. A key strength lies in its youthful demographic, with a median age of 28.7 years, offering strong potential for economic growth. However, declining fertility rates, especially in urbanized states, may lead to long-term demographic challenge. In response, the government is investing in healthcare, family support policies, and job creation to ensure that nation workforce remain a driver of progress. Next, for growth, GDP shows that India has been the fastest growing major economy in recent years. Its strong performance is mainly driven by factors like high domestic consumption, government investment in infrastructure, growth in sectors like service and manufacturing, and rapid digital development. Even during global challenges like the pandemic and inflation, India continued to grow steadily. This highlights the country's resilience, strong economic foundation, and growing influence in the global economy. Next, we move to major growth drivers. The service sector is the largest contributor to India's economy, making up total 53% of the country's total GDP. It includes key industries such as information technology, business process outsourcing, and banking and financial services. India is widely recognized as a global hub for IT services, with cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune driving innovation and attracting international clients. This sector plays a crucial role in India's global competitiveness and continues to support strong economic growth. Next is manufacturing and industrial. Indian manufacturing sector has seen steady growth, especially after the launch of the Make in India initiative in 2014. This program aims to position India as a global manufacturing hub by encouraging domestic production and attracting foreign investment. Key industries include automotive, pharmaceutical, chemical, textile, and electronic. Recent developments like investment in electric vehicle and semiconductor manufacturing are further strengthening India's industrial base and creating new job opportunities to Indian people. Next is agriculture sector. Agriculture remains one of the largest employment sector in India, particularly in rural areas, and contribute around 17 to 18% to the country's GDP. Major crops include rice, wheat, sugarcane, cotton, and post. The sector is supported by various government programs such as subsidies, the minimum support price, and rural development schemes. Although the sector faces challenges like climate dependency and small land holdings, it continues to be essential for food security and rural livelihoods. Lastly, infrastructure and digital expansion are key priorities for India's economic development. The government has launched major initiatives like the National Infrastructure Pipeline and the Gati Shakti Master Plan to improve logistics and connectivity. There has been rapid growth in the development of highway, railways, smart cities, and access to basic services like electricity and clean water. At the same time, the Digital India campaign is expanding internet access, e-governance, and digital services across the country to help to bridge the rural-urban gap and drive inclusive growth.
So, in this slide, I would like to explain employment statistics and labor force compositions in India. India has one of the biggest workforce in the world with around 554 million workers, but there is a big difference between men and women job. Only 20 to 22% of women are working while 58% of men have job. Young women in city have even more trouble getting job because of safety issue, gender roles, and not enough training. Also, about 20,000 foreigners from Japan, Korea, and China work in India. They mostly work in skilled job and help in area where local workers are not enough. Even though the number is small, they are important in constructions, hotel, and IT. This show both strength and problem in India labor market. So in this slide, I would like to explain employment crisis because India is facing a serious job problem because most jobs, about 90%, are informal. That means workers don't get benefits like health insurance or retirement plans. Many women are not working because mostly women have job and most often in low paying and unsafe work. At the same time, many young people cannot find jobs. In 2022, almost 80% of young unemployed. This is a big issue because young people are the future of the country. They need more formal jobs and better support for women and youth. So this slide I would like to explain. Trade unions are very important in India. They help workers speak up for fair pay, safe workplace, and better job conditions. The law in India allows any 7 or more workers to form a union. Today, there are over 37,000 trade unions in the country. There are also 12 big national unions. Each has a different political links. For example, M02GA1 is linked to the Congress Party and work in areas like textile. AITUC is oldest union and work in public factory. BNS is one of the biggest and work across farming and services. Trade unions face many problems. Many jobs are now informal and not safe. Workers don't always get help when new policies are made, especially big change like climate plans. Also, young workers and women want more support like training and better right at work. One strong example happened in 2024. CITU organized a big strike at Samsung factory. Over 1,000 workers joined to ask for fair pay. This got media attention and made the company talk to the union. It showed that unions still have power. Today, unions are also fighting for women's safety, equal pay, and better jobs for young people.
Hi, I'm M02GA1. So today I'm going to talk about collective bargaining and gig workers in India. Collective bargaining in India allows employees to negotiate wages, working conditions, and benefits through trade unions. It involves proposing agreements, negotiation, and resolving disputes through conciliations or tribunals. Challenges include dwindling union membership, rivalry, and lack of representation in informal sectors. To improve this, India must strengthen union infrastructure and enforce agreements that leveraging the Industrial Relation Code for better outcomes. Meanwhile, the gig economy in India is growing rapidly with 70 million gig jobs expected in 2028. Gig workers in sectors like ride-sharing, delivery, and IT face challenges like fair wages and labor rights. Addressing this concept is very crucial for both workers' welfare and sustainable growth in the expanding sector. Next is on the employment of domestic and foreign workers. Domestic workers in India are categorized as the part-time, full-time, and live-in workers, while the unorganized workers Social Security Act provides some benefit, but they are still lacks of full protections. For foreign workers, the Immigration Act of 1983 and the Ministry of Labor regulate their recruitment, ensuring proper management through agencies like the Proper Generals of Immigrants. As for the sectors of employment and determinant of employment patterns, domestic workers are primarily employed in private household with demand driven by urbanization, dual income household, and rural to urban migrations. Meanwhile, foreign workers, especially in IT and technical services, are very crucial in India's economy, with the IT sectors that relying heavily on foreign expertise. Lastly, on the government agencies handling domestic and foreign workers, the Ministry of Labour and Employment oversees welfare scheme for domestic workers, while the National Domestic Worker Movement advocates for their rights. For the foreign workers, the Ministry of Labour and Employment manages the employment visas, and the Ministry of External Affairs ensures the welfare of Indian workers abroad. That's all from me, and thank you.
In India, the Payment of Wage Act of 1936 governs how wages are paid to employees. The act ensured timely and lawfully payment of wage, protecting workers from unlawful wage deduction. This legislation serves several purposes. First, to facilitating the payment of wage and protecting against unauthorized deduction. Second, ensuring employees know with the act of penalizing those who don't. Third, promoting harmony and transparency in wage distribution. India minimum wage system varies by state, region, and sector, offering flexibility to business in deciding where to set up. The national minimum wage is in 176 Indian rupees per day, which is equivalent to 2.11 USD, translating to 5,218 rupees Indian rupees, which is equivalent to 63 USD. This enables India to remain highly competitive labor source in Asia. As the payment of wage aid ensuring timely payment, it contributes to better worker performance and overall economic stability. Meanwhile, for the employment of women, the participation of women in the workforce in India has been growing trend in recent years, though still lower than men. The Periodic Labour Force Survey (PLFS) 2021 and 2022 indicate a positive rise in the female labour force participation rate, signifying that more women are entering the labour market. However, compared to male participation, female labour force participation is still quite low, with only about a third of women being actively employed. Several laws and policies have been put in place to support women in the workforce, promoting gender equality and providing specific benefits for women, especially in areas of maternal support and work-life balance. The key legislative measure in India is the Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 217. The comparison of maternity benefit between India and Malaysia. The first, maternity leave duration, such as India has mentioned in the Maternity Benefit of Act 2017, provide 26 weeks of paid maternity leave for biological mother, with 8 weeks before delivery and 80 weeks after delivery. For adoptive and commissioning mother, the leave is 12 weeks. Meanwhile, for the Malaysia, under the Employment Act of 1955, maternity leave is granted for 60 days, only which approximately 8.5 weeks. The leave is fully paid for those employed by a company with more than 5 employees. However, this duration is significantly shorter than India by 26 week maternity leave. Meanwhile, for work from home provision, India, as per Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017, women are allowed to work from home if their time of work allows it, especially post-maternity leave. This offers flexibility to mothers who want to return to work but need to care for their newborns. Meanwhile, for Malaysia does not have an explicit law that allows work from home arrangement during maternity leave. However, it may be negotiated individually with the employers, depending on the company policy and the nature of the job. The 3. Adoption and commissioning mother. In India, the Maternity Benefit Act extends maternity leave to adoptive mother and commissioned mothers as well. Adoptive mother of the children under 3 months, commissioning mother, those who use surrogacy are entitled of 12 weeks of maternity leave. Meanwhile, for Malaysia provide maternity leave only to biological mothers. Adoptive mother or commissioning mothers are not explicitly covered under the Employment Act for maternity leave benefits. Though there may be some company-specific policy that provides such leave. The fourth one is an extended leave for the complication. In India, women who experience complication during pregnancy are entitled to additional leave under the Maternity Benefit Act, which ensure that they receive financial support and protection during any medical complication. Meanwhile, for the Malaysia, the Employment Act does not specifically provide extended leave for the complication arising during pregnancy. However, the employee may take sick leave, which is part of the general leave entitlement. In case of complication, subject to medical certificate and employer approval. Next, let's discuss working hour and leave. According to the Factory Acts of 1948, the standard working hours for factory workers should not exceed 9 hours a day or 48 hours a day per week, including a mandatory break. If employees work beyond this hour, they are entitled to overtime pay. Recent update to labor laws have reduced daily working hours to a maximum of 12 hours and weekly working hours to 48 hours. This allows companies to implement a 4-day work week, providing flexibility and employees while ensuring fair compensation for overtime. Additionally, there have been changes in leave entitlement. Employee will now earn leave every 20 days of work instead of the previous 45, and they can accumulate it within 180 days of employment instead of 240. Foreign termination benefits are covered by the Industrial Dispute Act of 1947. When employees are dismissed, there are specific legal conditions that employers must follow. This includes providing notice period and severance pay for workers who have complete 1 year of continuous severance. For every year of service, employees are entitled to 15 days of average pay. Moreover, the payment of Gratuity Act of 1972 ensures that employees who complete 5 years of continuous service are eligible for gratuity payment, providing them with financial security upon retirement. Employers must adhere to proper termination procedure, including conducting an inquiry in case of misconduct. Failure to follow this procedure may result in legal consequences and reinstatement of the employee. Legal framework governing employment foreigner. In India, foreigner employment is managed by a mix of immigration laws and labor regulation. The Foreign Acts 1946 and the Legislation of Foreign Acts 1939 are the main laws that govern how foreign workers can stay and work in India. If a foreign national stay in India for more than 180 days, they must register with the Foreign National Ministry Office (FRRO). The Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) and the Ministry of External Affairs (MEA) are in charge of issuing the visa and monitoring the employment of foreign nationals in India. This rule makes sure that foreign workers are employed legally and are following India's law. For the employment visa requirement and instrument, foreign nationals must apply for an employment visa (e-visa) if they want to work in India. To get an e-visa, the foreign worker must have a job contract with an Indian company, and the salary must usually be over 225,000 USD per year. The visa is granted for up to 5 years but need approval from the Ministry of Home Affairs. There are some exceptions for specific jobs like ethics cooks or language experts where the salary requirement may be lower. In addition for the visa, foreign workers must register with the FRRO and get a permanent account number for tax purpose. Third, work permit and additional documentation. Once in India, foreign nationals need to register with FRRO within 40 days of arrival. This registration gives them a resident permit, allowing them to stay and work legally in India. They must also get a pen from the income tax department so they can pay tax. Employees are responsible for deducted at source (TDS) from the foreign worker's salary, and foreign workers must follow the income tax acts and file their tax depending on how long they stay and how much they earn. Employer increases employer responsibility, which is levied in costs. Both employees are foreign employees have specific responsibility. Employers must sponsor the foreign workers' employment visa and cover the costs for the visa and registration. They also need to follow Indian tax law and deduct TDS from the foreign employee salary. Employers may also provide housing allowance or accommodation, especially in the high-cost city. On the other hand, foreign employees must ensure that their visas stay valid, complete FFRO registration after arriving in India, and get a PAN for tax purpose. Both employer and employees must work together to make sure all legal requirements are met. Fifth, dealing with agency and governmental organization. Several organization agencies manage the employment of foreign workers in India. The Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) issued visa and overseas immigration. The Foreigner Regional Relation Office (FFRO) help foreign nationals with the registration and visa renewal. The Ministry of Labour and Employment ensure foreign workers are treated fairly under Indian labour law. The Reserve Bank of India (RBI) manage foreign exchange regulation to make sure foreign workers' salary payment follow India banking rule. These agencies work together to make sure foreign workers comply with the Indian laws. Last but not least is the uniformity or variation across sector. There is no strict quota system for hiring foreign workers in India. Foreign workers are usually hired for their skill, especially roles where there is lack of local talent. However, certain industries have special rules. For example, industries like defense, telecommunication, and media have more strict regulations about hiring foreign workers due to national security concerns. In addition, some industries may have restriction of the amount of foreign direct investment (FDI), which could affect how many foreign workers are hired.
India's retirement age generally range from 58 to 60 years, which is relatively low compared to global standards. However, this varies by sector and state. For example, Kerala and Andhra Pradesh has increased it to 60 to 62 respectively. Special roles have even higher limits, with High Court judges retiring at 62 and Supreme Court judges at 65. Whereas for academic roles under UGC also follows the retirement age of 65. In the armed force, it varies significantly depending on their ranks from 35 to 60 years. When it comes to the retirement process, eligible employees usually need 20 years of service, and voluntary retirement is also permitted after that. The process involves submitting a retirement application about 3 months in advance, followed by clearance of dues and verification of records. Upon retirement, employees receive pension benefits under the Central Civil Service Rules, along with gratuity and optional switching to Unified Pension Scheme. Post-retirement benefits like family pension and disability support are provided, but misconduct may lead to forfeiture. This structured policy ensures both economic stability for retirees and administrative consistency for the government. India has a strong legal framework aimed at protecting children from exploitation and ensuring their right to education. Constitutionally, Article 24 bans children from under 14 from working in hazardous occupation, while Articles 21A and 45 guarantee free and compulsory education for ages 6 to 14. The Prohibition and Regulation Act of 1986, later amended in 2016, prohibits child labor in nearly all forms, except for some family-based and non-hazardous work. Despite this law, child labor still exists, especially in rural areas of India, which accounts for 90% of the cases. COVID-19 in 2020 made it worse. Due to the economic pressure, the number of working children rose by nearly 80%, with most being aged 15 to 17 and working in hazardous sectors like bangles, textile, brick kiln, and construction. Crime against children in India has also remained deeply alarming. In 2024 alone, Karnataka recorded over 8,200 cases, with more than 4,000 files under the POSCO Act. Nationally, in 2022, India reported over 39,000 child rape cases, marking a 96% surge in sexual violence against children since 2016. To address this, India enacted the Protection of Children from Sexual Offence or POSCO Act in 2012. This law is specifically designed to tackle sexual offence against individuals under 18. Importantly, it's gender neutral, protecting both boys and girls. Penalties range from 3 years to life imprisonment or even death in every case. The Act ensures child-friendly procedure during investigation and trial. The Code on Social Security 2020 is a major reform that merges 9 key labor laws into one unified framework. It covers provident funds, insurance, maternity and gratuity, and more. Its purpose is to extend social protection to all workers, including informal and gig economy workers, who make up nearly 89% of India's workforce. Thanks to this and other welfare schemes, India's social security coverage has seen remarkable growth. It has increased from just 90% in 2015 to a projected 64.3% by 2025, benefiting nearly 950 million people. Key scheme under this framework includes Employee Providers Fund for retirement saving, Employee State Insurance Scheme, and Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana for healthcare. The Maternity Benefit Act and Pradhan Mantri Mantru Yandana Yojana for working mothers, and E-Shram for informal workers. There are also insurance programs such as Pradhan Mantri Jivan Jyoti Bima Yojana, the Pradhan Mantri Sukumin Engineer, and income support through Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act and Atal Pension Yojana. These programs ensure India's workforce receive not just employment, but also dignity, security, and future stability.
For 6.1, comparison of employment of foreign and domestic workers, India restricts foreign workers to high-skill sectors like IT and education, requiring a minimum salary of USD 25,000. Domestic work is mostly informal and done by local rural women with limited legal protection. In contrast, Malaysia allows foreign workers in various sectors, including domestic work, and employs many foreign domestic workers from countries like Indonesia and the Philippines. It is also working on legal reforms to improve their rights. For summary 6.2, which is comparison of government agencies handling foreign and domestic workers, India Labour Management is divided among several agencies, while Malaysia centralizes it under the Ministry of Human Resources and uses digital system like FWCMS for better coordination. Both countries aim to improve protection from domestic workers, but Malaysia shows stronger integration and reform effort. For 6.3, comparison of child and young labor laws and policies, India and Malaysia both ban hazardous work for minors. India allows children under 14 to do non-hazardous family work, while Malaysia permits light work from age 15. India laws are based on the Child Labour Act 1986. Malaysia follow the 1966 Act. Education is compulsory until age 14. In India, age 20 in Malaysia. Enforcement is a challenge in both countries, especially in informal sector, with India facing more widespread hazardous child labour. And lastly, for 6.4, comparison on social security laws, India used a unified system under the Code on Social Security 2020, covering formal, informal, and gig worker. Malaysia has separate laws, which is EPF, SOCSO, EIS, mainly covering formal workers with some voluntary option. Contribution rates are similar, though Malaysia employer rate is slightly higher. India coverage has expanded to 64.3% of the population, while Malaysia continue efforts to include informal workers.
Thank you, Doctor, for watching this video.